Action. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the EU Legends Wayback Machine. Originally, my last episode was titled Marvel Issues 50 to 55. We made it to 54. So I decided we'll just do a single episode on the 30th episode on HOOJIBS. Because what better way to spend our time than with just HOOJIBS for a single issue? And
Yeah, we kind of
Legends Wayback Machine, I forgot to mention, with my buddies. Sorry.
we did run out of gas last episode, so better to put the HOOJIB episode, which I think is one of the better comics in this series, as its own individual episode. So I can enjoy that.
It works out.
It also is kind of like a little bit of a demarcation line, because the last was like a little bit of an arc with the Tark and all this stuff. This is, we get to meet the HOOJIBS. The Rebels get a new base.
Yes,
it's
pretty cool.
new.
There's also a Yuuzhan Vong entity that enters the galaxy and is also on Araba. And I want to know who won this Columbia Formula 10 speed.
That's the biggest
racer.
mystery.
There's got to be some information on that somewhere.
Also inflation, because the comic's now 60 cents.
Yes, that is true. Yes. As of this issue, we're now in the 60-cent range. Can't get 2 comics for $1 anymore.
Rude.
Yep. So this is by David Michelini and Walt Simonson.
Yes, we've had him for a few issues. He since issue 51. Well, not counting the 2 Chris Claremont issues.
Mm-hmm. This is also available. It's one of the 2 Marvel adaptions on Buena Vista Records, the little kids book. You get turn the page when you hear the R2D2 sound. A lot of new artwork. Planet of the HOOJIBS is also available as a children's short story.
So that's I want to start out with that question. How do we pronounce this word? So I've heard HOOJIBS, I've heard HOOJIBS. Which is
I always said HOOJIBS.
Yeah, I just say HOOJIBS.
I like HOOJIBS.
HOOJIBS?
I think it's funnier. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with the majority on this one, Alex. I am sorry, and go HOOJIBS. Okay. I already screwed it up.
Do we say like, Araba or Araba?
Well, it's ARBRA. So
it's like when I have this problem with the legacy comics that we'll get to in a million years, where there's a very specific writing for Kate's girlfriend, but I instinctively always, even though I'm wrong, call her Delilah, but that's not her name.
What is it?
Or is that the prop? Maybe I said it right this time.
Yeah, it's Delilah Blue, I believe.
Oh, okay. No, wait. Forget. I don't even know what I'm trying to say now. I said something else, and then I think Brennan could be yelling at me, and I think I've got it right.
You have to eject out of this plane.
Ejected. We're done.
You're wrong about something else, but definitely not that.
I'm wrong about everything. We can move forward now. Anyway, HOOJIBS for me. And I'm right, because I'm in charge of this show.
That's true.
So I like these little speeders, these little motorcycle sidecars they're driving. If there was an EU theme park, I think this should be a ride. Ride through the Araba jungle to the Crystal Caves. Now the Crystal Cave,
the old ET ride.
No, what you do is you'd ride through the things, then you go to the gift shop, and they just have a bunch of HOOJIBS for sale.
Yes, stuffed HOOJIBS.
It'd be like the Jurassic Park ride at Universal.
That'd be
Jurassic World now.
I think it would be great. You could have a power crystal. I was also noticing there's a crystal cave on this planet, Araba, but probably the more popular crystal cave in the EU is on Ilum, like the Jedi temple where they get their Jedi crystals to power their lightsabers. So interesting parallel.
True indeed.
So several things.
HOOJIB in the corner.
Several things I like about this opening page. One,
HOOJIB my jibs.
Simmer down there, Alex.
Blue roses.
Yes, blue roses, very nice, very artistic design.
Yes, but Alex, you know what I'm getting at here.
Mm.
Twin Peaks.
Do I? What?
I don't
Twin
think he's
Peaks.
seen. I don't think he's seen Twin Peaks. Alex, have you seen Twin Peaks?
I've seen Twin Peaks.
Okay, well, never mind.
I'm sorry. Well, I didn't. I didn't even think about that at all. All right, that's a good one.
But,
That's a good one.
Also, the two HOOJIBs here, just watching this lot drive past.
Mhm.
I
And,
love the little bunny.
Yes,
Adorable.
and
Can you bring the
I don't-
HOOJIBs back?
I don't know if this is intentional or I'm just imagining this because I know that this is the case in the story, but they look a little bit run down, if you see what I mean. Tired.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because they got taken out of their cave by the Slivolith, which is
Yeah.
the big monster, and
They-
the cave is their source of their power. So they're probably starving. They probably haven't eaten any power in a couple days, so they're down on their energy.
Almost definitely. And also the light here, and the
That is
shadow.
pretty good.
You can imagine the gaps in the treetops with the light filtering through there. I like
They
that.
did a really good job of capturing that.
Yeah, that is a really good
In a 2D image.
detail.
It's almost like they knew the set, or at least one of the sets for Return of the Jedi. Very similar to Endor a little bit.
That is true. It does kind of remind you of Endor.
I mean, they're on the speeders. They're on the. And did we establish that were speeders in either Empire or a New Hope?
There was one in A New Hope in the
there were land speeders, but not the bikes. The bike was put
Oh,
in A New Hope in the special edition. There were swoop bikes in the Han Solo trilogy.
Okay, yeah, I remember we talked about this.
Yeah,
So they got two things. They got the trees and the forest background, which that's not a crazy
Mm.
prediction.
like-
But they did get the bikes, which is impressive to me.
Yeah, it would be a
So-
cool action figure if they ever made such a thing. I also like the tents that they show.
I like Leia's fit in this one. It's at least different from her usual attire.
Yes.
Yeah, she's almost got like a Padme
Right?
Geonosis outfit a little bit.
Yeah. A little less that's all I have to say actually.
Yeah, a little less revealing maybe. But they camp out in these tents and they see the HOOJIBs watching them, and they say, well, the HOOJIBs aren't any threat. There's supposed to be no intelligent life on the planet. So this is the new rebel base that the rebels are sort of scoping out. Luke is back with the fleet, and then Leia's with this reconnaissance team here,
I
just
like
setting up shop.
These guys up here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they see the HOOJIBs watching them, and one of them messes with Chewbacca, but Leia's like, don't worry about them. They're harmless.
They do
Yes.
look very out of place in this Star Wars universe. Like, I mean, that literally, like, they've got the big cartoon eyes next to Chewbacca. I guess they could look like Fraggle Rock
Mhm.
Muppets.
When I was reading the Junior Jedi Knights as a kid, I always pictured HOOJIBs as Master Urquhart. Like, I pictured that he was a HOOJIB, even though obviously he wasn't. But I always got that mixed up.
So-
One little rabbit, the other little
Mhm.
rabbit.
So Leia and Chewbacca and the rest, they're on Abra. They're looking around and trying to determine if that might be a suitable base, which so far things are looking good. And meanwhile, Luke and the fleet, they don't want to stay put in one place and risk getting caught by the Empire. So they're going to make a sort of elliptical circuit of the system, and if they don't get a message from the planet on the way back, then they're supposed to just keep going.
Right. Luke's very worried about Leia, doesn't want to leave her there. And then there's a little bit of a B plot here with Lando. Apparently, he's
Yes.
not at all concerned about finding Han Solo. We saw him in 2 adventures so far, the Crimson Forever, and then the I forget it was Cody Sunchild one. But
Well, he was
here
also in the the two Tarkin issues.
yeah, at the end, and I guess he was at the end of the Leia on the planet with John Carter of Mars, that one.
Yes.
But
So-
Lando's concerned about going back to Cloud City to protect his investment. He's not at all concerned with finding Han, which is what you'd think.
Well, I think it's less to protect his investment and more because, everyone there he kind of abandoned under, to the mercy of the Imperials.
That's true. He did advise everyone to leave before more Imperial troops arrive.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting that he seems like he's on his way out, and Luke talks to him as he's leaving. We'll see a little bit of him in the epilogue as well.
Yeah. It says, ever since we left Cloud City under Imperial domination, I felt uneasy, like there was something I could have done to help. I suppose that's why I'm going back.
By himself. He's going to take it all back.
Yeah. Maybe not the most sensible thing to do. I'm sure he could get someone to go with him.
Lando and the Bay of Pigs operation. Taking back Cloud City.
Okay.
He is taking the Falcon, so that's
Yeah. So as they're sleeping, the rebels get attacked. Well, not really attacked, but the HOOJIBS eat their power, all their equipment, their blasters. One of them starts chewing on 3PO.
Which he does not appreciate.
No, it's pretty comedic in the kids' storybook.
Oh my word, I'm being eaten alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like
I
his
left
eyes
Anthony
there.
Daniels back in my old place. I still got to get him back.
The laser eye panel was particularly funny there.
This reminds me a little bit of the holiday special with those lights at the top.
Yeah, it's almost like the set of a movie,
Yeah.
Right
in the face of that HOOJIB.
Versus the Scandits. Who wins?
The Scandits have no chance. Look at that. Look how cute that is.
I like these two panels.
Yeah.
The two panels that introduce my favorite original character in this series.
Yeah. So Plith is the leader. So the HOOJIBS communicate telepathically, and I think he's like the hive mind or something. Or the spokesmind.
Yes.
Do put me down, won't you? Here's a good fella. There you go. There's your uncomfortable, not what that probably sounds like for you.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know what it really sounds like, there is a children's book on tape.
That's true.
Also on YouTube, so you can check that out after this episode. Don't go away.
I'll find it and put it into the comments and pin it. Once we're
I
done.
like Pliff. He's such a nice guy.
A nice
He's a
rabbit.
little guy.
He's a
Mhm.
little guy.
Get him.
I wonder if he got eaten during the new Yuzon Vong era.
I hope
Probably not. I always thought he was like one of the rebel leaders, like he'd command one of the Mon Calamari starships or something.
That'd be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. That's probably a much better outcome than getting eaten during the invasion.
It's like he's in the chair, the command chair.
Yeah.
He's like it's like the little center of it.
They got like a little hamster cage for him or something like.
I've never seen a hamster cage end well. That's all I'm gonna say. The little guy's just like, intensify forward firepower. They're already breaking through. Ah! I know that's all right. That's what I can remember off the top of my head.
I like that Joe Duffy brought Pliff back. Which, yes,
Yeah, he's going to be a continuing character in several issues.
He has a very distinct voice.
Mhm.
A pink rabbit.
Yes.
He does.
Yeah, this is getting back to the variety show 1970s hour here.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
They just wanted to use all the colors they possibly could in this
Look, we
panel.
can use all colors.
There's also so this is the new Rebel base that's going to be continuing on throughout like the gap between Empire and Return of the Jedi. There's also another base mentioned on Golrath, but like that was only temporary. So the main
I think they had to abandon that one because Domina Tag knew about that one.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is going to be like the new permanent base, and these caves where the Slivolith is, the Yuuzhan Vong invader creature, which is essentially like a probe droid. It's came to scout out the galaxy. So it finds this power center in the caves where the HOOJIBS were driven out from. And they decide, because they were chewing on the rebels' power supplies, the rebels' like blasters are drained and they don't really have any equipment. So they have no other choice but to go to the power caves to get further supplies because they can't contact the fleet. And then the Slivolith attacks, grabs one of the rebels. Also a point that's kind of funny is some of the rebels, I think there's 3 of them, have actual names, just like random names. Like one of them's Bert, if you scroll up. like
Wasn't later of a Jedi named Barney?
Yeah, Bert and I were on guard when the HOOJIBS hit.
I actually wondered about that. I think it could be a coincidence, but it's possible he might be named after Ben Burt.
Probably. And there's another one, Bo's son, where he's talking to Luke in the fleet, and then there's one more at the end.
That's a job title or rank, not a.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just kind of weird that they have random names in here.
So I forget where was it established that this thing is a Yuuzhan Vong like probe droid?
It doesn't, but
it is. It's in was it Planet Hoppers, or it's one of those like hyperspace exclusives.
Right. That's why I don't know that.
Yeah. Obviously not in here because they didn't know anything about the Yuuzhan Vong in the 80s.
I just meant what retroactively made it be so.
Yeah, that was like 17 years early.
So we get a little bit about how the Slivolith got here. Obviously, it says it traveled through space and kind of looks like a Yuuzhan Vong creature here. So I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
so I'm glad somebody was like, "Why don't we just make that be a thing?"
I think that's fair. I think that because this should be the era of like little trickles of Yuuzhan Vong starting to come through.
Yeah,
I mean, is Nominor already around?
Maybe.
No, I don't think so. Not till post Return of the Jedi.
Okay, because I know like in Crimson Empire, he's like already established, like he's already been there for like a while.
That's when he first he's been in the galaxy, but he kind of makes a deal with the Imperial Ruling Council, Calvarus or whatever that guy's name is, the Roman Emperor looking guy.
Kind of Vong just kind of trickling in because we had the Vong all the way back. If we talking about the Joe Schreiber novel and in the prequels, and then if you go further back to the KOTOR video game, Canderous Ordo, the Mandalorian, mentions that him and his team back in the day had come across this weird asteroid that attacked them, which was obviously a scout ship, which is all the way back then. That's thousands of years in the past. So they have to at least have sleeper cells around right now.
Right. I think there's also something in Rogue Planet that the Far Outsiders are mentioned. So yeah, they've been around, but I don't think it's known exactly how long Nominor's been there.
Fair enough.
So the Pliffs, the HOOJIBS have drained the power from all their equipment, and that's a problem because they now have no way to contact the fleet, which means that when the fleet comes back that way, they
can't communicate with
them. They're not going to hear from them and going to assume that something's gone wrong, that they're probably dead, and that it's not safe to. So
I don't think Luke would abandon Leia that easily, but yeah, that's could present a problem.
The others might, be more hesitant.
Yes.
Sure.
So they need to get into the cave with the the geothermal crystals so that they can charge their equipment. But that's where the Slivlith is, so they need to kill it first.
right.
So there's
Luckily,
never
they
a
got.
plushie HOOJIBS. I feel like that would sell really well. Like a little thing you can hug in bed, little HOOJIB.
First
feel
of all,
Why
I
in
don't
bed?
know what they are.
Why in bed,
What?
Alex?
Or else would you have a little plushie doll? What do you
Decoration.
mean?
Decoration.
You hug them. Anyway,
Yeah, I guess.
if they didn't make one, they should have. That's a missed opportunity.
Several things I like here. One, Sif's ears.
Mm.
Mhm.
A little
Two.
Dumbo looking.
The fact that he goes, no, we're not going to just let you do all the fighting. We're going to help too. This is our planet. We may just be little rabbity things, but we'll do our best.
Yep. They call him a grotto grabbing villain.
Yes.
And they have a spree sound effect.
Sri.
Yeah, Sri. And then I guess they talk amongst themselves in the telepathic language. Luckily, they got Chewbacca on their team. When Chewbacca's a house, he can grab the Slivlith by its tail and just smack him into the crystals.
I like the onomatopoeia here, with all of them running away, going yee.
Yeah, their fighting was a little bit,
I don't know what the HOOJIBS are going to do. They're
Yeah,
just like
there's-
run past them. The rebels have these little sticks. Maybe they're spears they throw at them. Impale them. I mean, that looks kind of painful.
Yeah,
They make them shish kebab.
bring him down, death by 1,000 cuts or whatever.
Mm-hmm. This could be part of the ride. Like you should have like a stick that you poke the Slivlith with. That part of the EU ride.
That'd be awesome.
And green or pink slime comes down on you. Slivlith blood.
That'd be
That's
pretty
what I'm
great.
talking about. Sif is he's a very polite guy. He's I do believe I'm about to be metabolized. If you could possibly spare a moment.
Yeah. Luckily, Leia's blaster's working.
Put that HOOJIB down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Why, thank you. That was most kind.
See, I would be a little bit more terrified of a giant Yuuzhan Vong monster trying to eat me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not as well groomed as Pliff, the HOOJIB.
Yeah. Have you ever had like a giant dragonfly inside that kind of reminds me of that?
I would freak out.
Yeah.
I'd abandon the house. Sorry to say.
Anyway, the thing chases after Leia, and I guess they devise a plan where Chewie's gonna grab him at a certain point when they chase him in a certain direction.
Yes.
And he slams him into the crystals.
Very nice splash page. This issue is mostly just action, setting up the new base.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's decent action, to be fair. It's good action, but it's kind of hard to give in-depth analysis on, and then they fight.
Yeah, they say I would assume he's dead. Wouldn't you think so, Chewie? And they show Chewie's face there. But then they decide to fight. Pliff says, like, this cave belongs to us. Like, you guys can't just move in here. And the rebels are ready to fight the HOOJIBS for control over the caves. And then Leia's like, settle down. We can't. It's true. Like, a lot of the rebels, they've been driven from their home by the Empire. We can't take the home of the HOOJIBS here just for our rebel operations. But then the HOOJIBS decide, hey, what's a home without guests? They let them stay there.
I also like how Leia looks. It just looks so much better than previous issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she doesn't look like Carrie Fisher per se. but she at least like, I don't know, like we go back the last like 20 issues. Many times she looks like a supermodel. Like she looks like just like a person here, which I appreciate. Other than the lipstick that she really wanted to wear today, but other than that, she like looks like a person instead of a supermodel.
It is nice to have a another Leia story because we don't get a lot in the EU. Unfortunately, we get a few, but we don't get that many. But it's nice to have. The Marvel issues gave us a few. This is one of the better ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a good intro. I mean, in fact, it even has a little epilogue where it kicks off the next issue with Lando, where we're going to go to Coffin in the Clouds. I like that
Which
title.
I do look forward to talking about just because it's so Lando-centric, which is pretty epic.
There's another character we don't get
Lobot.
with. It's going to be
Lobot
awesome.
doesn't get love, so
I like Lobot a lot, so this will be fun.
Too.
But
so
yeah.
I think it's next week. I don't think there's anything else in between. So, or next episode.
You're right. I think you're right. Well, gentlemen, what did we think of Pilf? The issue, not the HOOJIB.
I like the book on tape better, the kids book. I think its pacing goes a little bit better than the comic. The comic does have some good single panels with all the colors, the crystal caves. I like the intro panel as well. That one, very nice. Could almost be the cover right there, really. I do like the HOOJIBS. I think they're a neat character. Plith, awesome. There's not much of a story here, but it's a good intro issue as we move on to the middle, the bulk of the story between Empire and Return of the Jedi.
For sure. You're right. There's not a lot of story here, but there's a beginning, middle, and they start. They have this conflict. They resolve the conflict. The end. They have a base. It's just that's. I mean, I'll take that. That's fine. It ain't no Shakespeare. Not a lot of this is. But the action was decent, and since that's the focus of the Marvel era, I guess. I mean, that's going to count for a lot. I do like that it sets up everybody else. So now, this to me is the real start of the Empire, post-Empire era. Because now we have a new status quo. We have a new base. Everybody's going on their story arcs, where before we're just kind of drifting from one to another. And Tarkin felt more like the end of a New Hope era than it did a story in Empire. To me.
Yeah, from here on out, they're sort of not one-off issues. There's a couple, but Tarkin, we had a 2-issue story arc. The John Carter of Mars Leia one, it was a 2-issue story arc. We had Cody Sunchild, which was a one-off, but here it's more linear, where we got the Shira Bree continuing story arc, and then Luke eventually, gets chased down by Vader again, leading up to Return of the Jedi. We also get the Rebel pilots that have information on the second Death Star. That's a big continuing storyline as well. So I like all of that.
It's a nice looking issue.
Yes, it is.
It's a very pretty issue. It shows a mark of what the majority of them moving forward are going to start looking like, which is good. And I think that's a good thing to have moving forward. A very consistent sort of style as well, in terms of certain character appearances and what they look like. And I like that consistency. Makes it feel like we're reading the same comic issues instead of feeling like we're reading a bunch of one-off weird things where sometimes Luke looks like He-Man, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes Leia looks like a supermodel, sometimes she doesn't. Now we get beat for beat.
Yeah.
I like that.
You almost have to sort of read every issue now. This one, the cover of the next issue. I mean, who wouldn't buy that, right? With Lobot punching Lando. I mean, I'm drawn in already. I almost want to cover this right now. But if you miss any particular issue in the Shira Bree arc, I think you'd be lost. You have to kind of read them all.
The series beforehand, the first 29 issues, was the next generation of Star Trek, where you didn't have to tune in every week. You could just kind of jump in. You'll be fine. Yeah. This, is Deep Space Nine. If you go into season 4 and go, I'm just going to watch this, there may be an episode or two in there that you could do that, but by and large, you're going to be very lost.
I mean, this was what was going on at comics at the time. We were moving away from single issue one and dones to ongoing story arcs, and it took different titles different amounts of time to wrap their heads around that. Like X-Men had been doing this since 1977 at this point, so they were already doing it. But like Batman wouldn't start doing this until 87, so a decade later. So Star Wars is sort of midway in between them, starting to do this now. There are a lot of titles that were ahead of them, but there's a lot of titles that are not. So that's something.
So I guess Star Wars is ahead of Batman, at least.
Star Wars is very much ahead of Batman. Star Wars is very much ahead of Wonder Woman, which is, I don't even know what they're doing, but it's fine.
Yeah.
But yes, we're starting to move from the Bronze Age, which was still very much in line with what had been done since 1938, to, I guess, what we would call the Copper Age now. It's kind of a dumb name, but where we start to have more modern writing and more modern sensibilities. So,
yeah. Overall, I like it. I'm excited for the future. I feel like I'm not like doing homework necessarily anymore. I feel like I'm just ready for a good time with all of you. Moving
right
forward.
up until we do the one with the water planet, and I'm going to whine and complain the whole time. I hate all those issues. I hate every single issue with that water planet. I hate the little guy. I hate his face. I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna.
Racist. Just kidding. But yeah, so all that to look forward to. We got Al being a hater. We got Shira Bree.
I like Shira Bree. I like Shira Bree. I don't like the fish guy.
They don't like the fish guy. He's not into the aquatic people.
It's not even. Listen, I love Kid Fisto. I don't like this specific fish guy with the fishbowl on his head. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot to look forward to next time moving forward. So until then, I guess live long and prosper. And if you don't want to be, if you don't want to be like Ahsoka Tano, as Matt Wilkins likes to hypothesize, then make sure if you go visit the HOOJIB homeworld, that you don't trip and die over one of them. And with that, I'll bid you all adieu. Till next time, bye-bye.
See you.